Hello everyone, welcome to the CloudLearn AWS Zero to Hero series. This is a day 20 video. In this video, we are going to talk about directory bucket in the S3 service. In the S3 topic, whenever we started the S3 topic, if you recollect, I mentioned Amazon introduced a new type of a bucket called directory bucket. Earlier, or as of now, whatever the S3 buckets we created, those are general purpose S3 buckets. And this is another type of a bucket called directory bucket. And the type of a bucket called directory bucket. It is completely different from the regular general purpose bucket. What is the use case? Why Amazon introduced this directory bucket is this is recommended for low latency access. Let us say you're using an application, right? And all the data for that application to be read or loaded from an S3 bucket. In such cases, these directory buckets can offer you the very low latency access. But these type of buckets are not recommended for regular use cases. Why? Because whatever the data you store in this directory bucket will be stored using a storage class called S3 Express 1 Zone. So I can say these buckets use only the S3 Express 1 Zone storage class. Or I can say X3 Express 1 zone storage class. Based on the name of the storage class, we can understand that whatever the data we are going to store in this bucket will be stored in a single availability zone. Might be multiple copies will be maintained across multiple devices, but all these devices are located in a single availability zone. What is the challenge with this? If something went wrong in that particular availability zone, the data might get lost because all your data, multiple copies of the single data will be maintained in a single availability zone. But the advantage of this storage class is faster processing of the data because all the data is stored within a single availability zone. That is, the advantage is faster loading times. Faster loading times. Disadvantage is the data redundancy because all your data is getting stored in a single availability zone. If something went wrong in that availability zone, you might lose all your data. As the data is getting stored in only one availability zone, data might get lost in case of availability zone crash. So in the real time, most of the cases, like 90 to 95% of the cases, we use the general purpose bucket only. It's been like 2 years or so that Amazon, or more than 2 years, that Amazon introduced this type of a bucket. And in my current organization, we never use this directory bucket. But for a certification point of view, you must know what is this directory bucket is, what is the use case. For that reason, you must understand this concept, it's a small concept. Let us check practically also how to create and all. Create a directory type of the bucket and observe the features. What, what I mean by features, like what all storage classes available, does ACL available or not, what are the naming rules and all. We will observe that at the time of creating the S3 directory type of a bucket. So this is my Amazon account. Let me navigate to the S3 service, right? So here let me click on create bucket, and generally we select by default general purpose will be selected and it goes on. But here this is a directory type. What is this directory type? It is recommended for low latency use cases. These buckets use only the S3 Express 1 zone storage class, which provides faster processing of data within a single availability zone. That's why the moment once you select the directory type of a bucket, you will get an option called in which availability zone you would like to create. But for a regular thing, there is no option because the data will be stored across multiple availability zones. Let me choose one availability zone. See here, data is stored in a single availability zone. And you can see the description. Directory buckets store data across multiple devices, but all the devices are available within a single availability zone. But do not store data redundantly across availability zones. So you are aware. You have to acknowledge that, okay, I am aware of all these things. If something went wrong in that availability zone, my data might be unavailable, or in worst cases, we might get lost. Okay, bucket name. And every bucket name must have this as a suffix. Suffix means which will be added at the end of the provided name. So what are the naming rules? Same name, same rules like 3 to 63 characters. It must include the suffix. It is going to be unique in the chosen availability zone and the region. Directory bucket name must also begin and end with a letter or number. Valid characters are A to Z, 0 to 9, and a hyphen. Means you can't use a dot. Okay, so my directory bucket and ACLs are disabled by default. You can't enable. And scroll down and you can't see any options like versioning, right? There is no such options exist. Click on create bucket and done. What happened? Okay, it's already exists. Let me use a unique name, right? Uniqueness is the most important thing. And click on create bucket. What I do is I will upload one object, any object, to identify what are the different types of storage classes exist. Theoretically, we already discussed, right? What we have done, there is no such thing called multiple storage classes and all. Let us identify. So this is the one which I created just now. Let me click here. My directory bucket 30 March 2025 properties. So not much options available like static website hosting, versioning, replication rules. Let me check the replication rules and all. There is no replication rules, right? There is no such options exist. Limited options available. Okay, let me click on upload. Any object that doesn't matter. Add a file and destination details. No options. Properties. Storage class. Only one storage class. You can't change the storage class. X3 Express 1 shown. That's it. So you have a limited means no options, just single option like one storage class. No additional features like replication rules, static website hosting, whatever we have covered as of now. In the regular S3 buckets, there is no such options exist. But the use case, you have to remember that the use case of the directory buckets are to get or to provide low latency access. Low latency access. So this is about the directory buckets. I hope you guys understood about what is a directory bucket and what is the use case and how it is different from general purpose buckets. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comment section. I can help you out. Thank you, everyone.